YouTube, how we doing, family? It's your boy, Yo! And this is another episode of the Ballpark Show. I go through every MLB game every day and try and narrow it down to the plays that I personally see the most value in. Today's Sunday, July 20th. I've got 5 games for you, and I've got 5 props at the end, so stick around. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's recap. Recapping yesterday, we cashed both of our highlighted plays of the day. First, we took the Los Angeles Angels team total over 4.5 runs. I like the matchup against Taijuan Walker, but I also know the Phillies are capable of scoring runs. That's why I isolated it to the team total. The Angels offense showed up, even though they lost the game 9-5. Next, we took the Chicago White Sox on the money line in Pittsburgh against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Not only were we getting plus money from the jump, but the Pirates took an early 3-0 lead, so we were getting plus 700 live with the White Sox money line. They scored 6 runs in the 6th inning and ultimately won the game 10-4, covered the reverse run line. We're on a heater, 10-3 on all highlighted plays, and a lot of these are for plus money. I look to keep that momentum rolling and get back in that win column today. Without further ado, let me get into today's games. In our first matchup, we have the Chicago White Sox in Pittsburgh taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pirates are minus 138 on the money line, and the total is 9 runs. On the mound, we have Aaron Savale going for Chicago, and we have Andrew Heaney going for Pittsburgh. Heaney's had the slightly better season thus far, but the expected numbers tell a different story. Savale has the better expected ERA, and I think we see improvement moving forward. When you're going up against an offense like the Pirates, that's going to help your case. Heaney, on the other hand, is expected to regress, and regression from a 4.59 ERA is a bad look. The White Sox offense has been more productive than the Pirates over the last 30 days, and I think they have a really good chance to win this game. We're getting another great price at plus 115. I gotta run this one back. We're taking the White Sox on the money line as our first highlighted selection. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the New York Yankees in Atlanta taking on the Atlanta Braves. Braves are minus 128 on the money line, and the total is 9.5 runs. On the mound, we have Marcus Stroman going for New York, and we have Grant Holmes going for Atlanta. I'm not the biggest fan of Grant Holmes' game, but he is a solid all-around pitcher. Good strikeout numbers, good whiff rate, and he doesn't walk a lot of batters. For me, this one comes down to not trusting Stroman's game at all. He comes into this one with a 6.66 ERA, and he's expected to slightly regress even further. Considering this Braves lineup is starting to heat up, they're averaging 5.4 runs over their last 10 games. I think they get to Stroman, no problem. The Yankees know how to make things shake in the late innings, so I'm isolating this one to the first 5. We're taking the Braves to win the first 5 innings as our next selection. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Kansas City Royals in Miami taking on the Miami Marlins. Royals are minus 128 on the money line, and the total is 7.5 runs. On the mound, we have Chris Bubich going for KC, and we have Jansen Junk going for Miami. This is a really good pitching matchup. Both guys come in with sub-3 ERAs and winning records. When I look at the expected numbers, we should see regression from both sides, but mainly from Junk. I trust Bubich to have a solid outing, and the Marlins offense is the only real threat in this game. The Royals rank 26th in the league from behind the plate over the last 30 days, so I'm not really worried about Junk in this spot either. Considering Bubich is an ace, and I'm not worried about the Royals offense, I think we stay below this total. I do think it's tight. Maybe we end 4-2 Marlins, but there's some value on the under. We're taking the Royals and Marlins under 7.5 runs as our next selection. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Houston Astros in Seattle taking on the Seattle Mariners. Mariners are minus 118 on the money line, and the total is 6.5 runs. On the mound, we have Hunter Brown going for Houston, and we have Brian Wu going for Seattle. This is an elite matchup, 2 of the best starting pitchers in the league today. Hunter Brown is 9-4 with a 2.43 ERA, and Brian Wu is 8-4 with a 2.75 ERA. Seattle's offense has been top 5 in the league over the last 30 30 days, but I trust Hunter Brown to slow down some of that momentum. Astros games are always lower scoring, and with two elite pitchers on the mound, I think the under is definitely worth a look. I like both of these bullpens, but I want to isolate it to the matchup between Brown and Wu. It's a little juiced at minus 130, but we're taking the Astros and Mariners under 3.5 runs in the first 5 innings. Let's move. In our last and final matchup, we have the St. Louis Cardinals in Arizona taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks are minus 145 on the money line, and the total is 9 runs. On the mound, we have Miles Mikolas going for St. Louis, and we have Merrill Kelly going for Arizona. I can't even look in the Cardinals' direction in this one. On the mound, this is a pitching mismatch off rip. Kelly has a 3.34 ERA and a 3.93 expected ERA. Compare that to Mikolas, a 4.94 ERA and a 4.97 expected ERA. Just off of their last few games, the Diamondbacks have cracked into the top 10 from behind the plate in the last 30 days, while the Cardinals are middle of the pack at best. When this Diamondbacks offense gets hot, is not a team you want to be on the other side of. We're taking the Diamondbacks laying the 1.5 runs. We're getting it for around plus 140 odds as our second highlighted selection. All right, guys, let's get into the props. I've got 6 bangers, and I'll get you in and out of here. First, we're taking Luis Robert Jr. of the Chicago White Sox to get 2 or more bases. He's making hard contact on a 6-game hit streak, and I love the matchup against Heaney. Next, we're taking Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Atlanta Braves to get 1 run or RBI. Just like Aaron Judge yesterday, this one's juiced, but I think we cash it no problem. Stroman's likely going to walk Acuna, but with this Braves lineup heating up, someone's going to drive him in. Next, we're taking James Wood of the Washington Nationals to get 2 or more bases. If you haven't heard of James Wood, you're going to find out today. He's top 10 in the league in home runs with 24, and the kid's 22 years old. Next, we're taking Nick Kurtz of the Oakland Athletics to get 1 run or RBI. He's making a ton of hard contact, batting at .270, and he's cashed in their last 6 straight. Last but definitely not least, we're taking Corbin Carroll of the Arizona Diamondbacks to get 2 or more bases. This guy always finds a way to put the ball in play. He can turn a single into extra bases with his speed, and I think he gets us 2, no problem. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I told you the show must go on. Let's get back in that win column and go cash number 12 today. I appreciate the support so much. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, yo! And until the next one, I'ma catch y'all. Peace.